Hi, I'm Joe Walensky, and I'm the program manager for ConveyUX, which is Seattle's annual user experience conference. It's put on by BlinkUX, and we've been doing it for the past 6 years, and we're coming up to our 7th, and that's going to be March 11th, 12th, and 13th, and I have the fun job of talking to our many presenters that will be at the conference, and today I have two in this interview. I'm going to be talking with Tamara Adlin and also with Ashby Fiser. Hello, Tamara. Hello, Ashby.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
Yeah, it's nice to see you both. It's good to have you both in the program, and you're going to be doing one of the workshops that we're going to have in the conference. We can talk about that in a few minutes, but I thought a good place to start would be for each of you to talk a little bit about your background and the types of things you're involved with now. And how about if we start with you, Tamara?
Sure. I can speak for both of us when I say we're delighted to be involved in ConveyUX once again this year. It's a great conference, great chance for everybody to get together and talk, so we're really psyched about it. My background is that I have been in UX since sort of before it was UX. I have worked at a series of startups. I worked at Amazon for 3 years way back in the day, and today I am a consultant, and I work with startups, very early stage startups, or larger companies that are behaving or trying to behave like startups to fix something that's broken. And I'm particularly interested in the organizational issues that get in the way of great design. So that's me.
And what about you, Ashby?
I, like Tamara, have been in the industry for a really long time, 18 years to be exact. It's nice because I started in 2000, and so I just have to remember what year it is to be able to say how long I've been doing this. It started out in kind of traditional marketing and advertising and evolved into the digital space and realized that I was doing UX about 10 or 12 years ago. Worked in a number of large financial institutions, big banks, and then moved to Seattle 5 years ago and have loved the Seattle space and have worked kind of in big tech for most of the last 5 years. Amazon most recently, and I think everyone does their tour of duty there. And then currently, for the last 2 months, I've been working for the National Democratic Training Committee, which is a political organization, left-leaning, obviously, that trains Democratic candidates to run for office. And so for me, my evolution was I spent a lot of time in big corporations, and kind of at the end of that time this year, I realized that I wanted to take all the knowledge and skills that I had built in those organizations and kind of give back in a more meaningful and purposeful way. And so I really love working with the organization I'm doing now. Nonprofit is a whole different world, whole different ball game. And I also, with Tamara, we do a lot of work together, mentoring and supporting people in UX. And we've found that so many people need that support, need that tribe, and need people who are not their bosses to help give them perspectives on their careers and where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that last part about mentoring and helping people in grow in UX, I think fits into your workshop title, which is Career Growth Kick in the Pants. And these workshops are available to everyone that has conference tickets. So there's no extra charge for that. So it makes it easy for people to decide to sit in. But why don't you talk a little bit about how you came around to this topic and what people can expect from it, what kinds of things you'll be doing, and I don't know, whoever wants to jump in first on that.
Well, I can jump in and say that honestly, this content came from helping women primarily, although absolutely the workshop is open to anybody. And we got together because we started noticing patterns in our mentoring. And we especially started noticing patterns with people, especially women, having a hard time expressing their own value. So I like to say that we work on products as UX people, but we also are products as UX people. And I think a lot of us have difficulty, both due to the nature of our field and also the nature of the people who are attracted to this field, in really advocating for ourselves and really embodying the power that we need to embody in order to do great work in UX for products. So in noticing these patterns and talking about these patterns and doing some other workshops together, we've started to put together a series of stories and experiences on especially Ashby, and a series of really practical mind tricks and just little methods. I mean, these aren't hard things. They're just sort of a twist in the way you think about things to help you get the perspective that you need to advocate for your own career, and in so doing, advocate for the people coming up from behind you, and also advocate for the work that you do in any organization, which is still a challenge in our field.
Yeah, I will second that. And also Tamara came up with the catchy title, which I love so much. Because I think we all need kind of that kick in the pants, and Tamara did that for me about a year ago when I was at Amazon, and I wasn't getting what I wanted out of my career, despite the fact that I had a great title and amazing compensation. It wasn't feeding me as a person, and I think that that's really what this workshop is about helping people to UX themselves, to UX their own career, to go, hey, I spend all day long trying to put myself in other people's shoes. Maybe I'm not spending enough time in my own shoes and going, what do I want? You know, do I have empathy for myself? Am I really, looking at what my goal is in my career experience? And then how am I going to intentionally create that experience to get to where I want to go? And that can be a conversation that applies not only for job seekers, but people who are in jobs. I recently had a chat with, principal over at Starbucks, and, she was kind of in this place where, she was excited about her job, excited about her career, but she was not really excited about, what was going to happen in 6 months or a year. And that was because she hadn't really looked at her experience holistically. And once we did that together, suddenly her career had a lot more meaning and purpose once she kind of had a vision for where she was going to go in her career, in a job that she was excited about, in kind of she already had her dream job. And so what's next after you have the dream job, so that's sort of what this workshop covers.
Well, if I just follow up on that, maybe throw a couple things out to, if either of you have thoughts on that. So one part of it might be whether you've noticed that if there's things that are unique to career growth within the UX discipline versus, various other professional disciplines people may be involved in. So that's one thing I'm kind of curious about, if you have any thoughts on it. And the other is you've been involved in the profession for quite a while, and have you seen any things evolve, change with respect to opportunities for people in the UX area?
I'll let Ashby go first this time.
So your first question, I think that UX is different than a lot of other career paths, especially because it's even though Tamara and I have been doing it in its current-ish incarnation for, maybe 15, 20 years, it really didn't come on the scene until maybe 5 or 10 years ago as something that was mainstream. And things like engineering have been around for decades longer. And so the maturity in those organizations, the maturity of thought and software development in a kind of an engineering-centric perspective, it's just a lot farther along. And so I think UX people in navigating a career in this field, they have to be able to work with a lot of ambiguity, a lot of misunderstanding, and work in an environment where the people around them, for the most part, in most of the other traditional roles inside an organization, already have, 20, 30, 40 years more of kind of maturity. So marketing, for example, or sales, or, engineering, operations, all of these other pieces of an organization have been around a lot longer. Design is kind of the new kid on the block. And so that makes it trickier to navigate your career.
Yeah, and I would add to that I mean, the thing I would add is like somebody looking for a director of engineering job doesn't have to explain why having a director of engineering is a valuable thing for the company, right?
Exactly.
But in UX, we still have to do that. And in fact, I would say most UX job positions are written wrong, that, you know, the people who are looking for this magic of UX actually don't know where to put it in their organization, and they write these job descriptions that actually don't make any sense. Like, you have to have a huge impact on the product, but you're way down here in the org chart. So I think often what we're forced to do, which other fields have been forced to do before us, but we're in this position right now, is we have to teach as we seek, right? So we not only have to advocate for ourselves in building up a career path or in becoming a manager or anything like that. We also have to advocate for the reason why having a manager related to UX is important in the first place. We're also in a place now where, you know, the top level people are starting to advocate for something else that's going to be important, which is the chief experience officer, in my belief, because we belong at that tier in the company. So I think that presents a new set of challenges. You not only, you know, it's hard enough to build up confidence about yourself and get past the imposter syndrome when you're going for a new job for anyone, including people like Ashby and me who've been doing this for a gazillion years. So not only do we have to be like, yes, I can do this, I'm worth it, I'm not going to take myself out of the running just because I see 2 bullet points that don't match up with my experience. We also have to be able to go in and say, guess what, guys? Your job description is written a little bit wrong. And here's, you know, let me help you figure out what the problem is and how I can help you solve it. And that's a hard set of things to do all at the same time.
Well, those are great insights. I appreciate your contributions upcoming at the conference and for taking the time for this interview today. And I didn't mention, I usually ask where people are at, but I believe that we're all within a very close radius here in Seattle, and I'll see you all as you make your way to downtown Seattle for this event in March.
Great. Can't wait.
Fantastic. Thanks, Joe.